Hey everyone, it's the Toy Enhancer here. And yes, we are on the new dial that I've been creating. This is just the first piece of it. And there's going to be extensions to the right side, extensions to the left. We're going to build onto it as we go. I kind of wanted to show you guys this is like the base point. You've probably seen it in a few clips or a few shorts videos, but this is the new dial for the year for the Toy Enhancer to do all his reviews on. So, and yes, I know this is odd. We have MOTU in front of us. Yes, MOTU, you guys. And let me tell you a quick story. And this just recently happened. I've been picking up MOTU for, oh, I don't know, a while, 3 years maybe, as long as it's been in this like retro package. So I've been picking up this stuff for a long time, and I never opened one. Why? Why did I never open one? Because I thought the articulation was very similar to the vintage style and didn't have no bends in the knees and the elbows, and that's just a real ignorant, dumb part on me because little did I know that these are more articulated. Not only are they articulated in the elbows and the knees, but also in the neck. And I just did not realize that. I love MOTU. I grew up watching He-Man when I was a kid, and it was one of the first toy lines that my mom actually would let me allow to play with because she thought it wasn't that dangerous for small parts as far as GI Joe. And He-Man came out in 1981, so yeah, today we're gonna take a look at Trap Jaw and Spikor. All right, and I picked up this Trap Jaw in a video that we found him in a flea market, and I got him for $10, which I thought was a great deal. And so here's what he looks like. He's on the retro card, and you can see there in the back they come with a comic, so that's pretty cool. And they always did. You know, back in the day, I remember when I bought these when I was a kid. You know, the packaging was very, very similar, and they came with that comic, and it would tell just a short storyline of a He-Man adventure. It's pretty cool. They got Orko, many faces, He-Man and Skeletor are on there. Scareglow, man, he was such a hard vintage character to obtain. So yeah, let's pop them open. Let's get into this Trap Jaw. I'm excited. Like I said, I have many of these. I've bought many of these, but if I knew they were this articulated, I would have been opening them. So again, it's me who is the ignorance of not knowing. So I never opened them. I was just like, yeah, they look good on card, but now that they're articulated, boy, do I want to open them because I can move them around more than my old ones. And to me, that's just cool. But yeah, that's pretty crazy because I'm a pretty big toy collector. Like I said, this just happened by mistake, and I didn't realize it. So I was gonna bring it to everyone's attention in case you might be the same way. Be like, I haven't opened these because it's just a regular He-Man, but it isn't. It really isn't. Even though it looks very similar, and I have the vintage one. We're gonna compare them in a minute. Sorry about all that plastic, guys. It's got rubber bands on them. This is the first one I've ever opened, so I'm not new to He-Man by no means. I grew up with it my whole life, but I'm new to opening these cards. And like I said, I did not know. Who would have even known? Because in the package, I mean, you have to really zoom in on it to know that these knees bend now. I mean, the leg has movement. It's got movement, a swivel right there at the calf. The foot. Holy smokes, I truly did not know that these came like that. This has a swivel on it at the robotic arm there. And of course, the jaw opens. That was a cool part that I loved about my trap jaw, was that his mouth open. I loved that as a kid. And this little loop, oh man, would I would get my mom string for her sewing string, and I would string me a line that went from like the living room all the way to my bedroom. And this guy would swing down that line the whole way, and that was the coolest fun to me when I was a kid. You know, again, you're talking about a 5-year-old running around with, you know, so yeah, trap jaw, man. And look, I mean, just articulated. Didn't know that he was going to bend at the elbow, and the arm comes up like, man, that's awesome. All right, so to in case I don't know if you're new to MOTU. I'm surely everyone does know MOTU. I'm the only dum that doesn't know these guys are articulated, but these new ones that are in the classic package, retro play they call it, the retro play. So we're gonna take a look at the old one. So here's an old one that I have, trap jaw, very similar. You know, he has an actual spring-loaded jaw, which is pretty cool. And again, there's the loop that I used to run on a zip line when I was a kid, right? But like you guys know, as far as He-Man, like you didn't get no bends at the knees. There wasn't no knee bending, and there wasn't no elbow bending. You just had the 5-point, basically. I think it's a 6. Plus his jaw. So there was a very little articulate. This doesn't swivel on the old one. So I'm an idiot. I was thinking that's all I was getting out of the package, but it was newer, So I never bothered to open them up. Let's do a little comparison here. Obviously the heads are a little different. The jaw stays open on the newer one. No spring loaded for us. The gauntlet's a little different. It's a little different from the vintage, but yet so vintage, so vintage. That's super cool. So I'm like probably gonna start reviewing these here and there because they are articulated. They are cool. Here's another vintage one I had that he's got some more parts. He had that blaster on him, and he's got that clamp, a little clamp attachment, which is cool. And let's see what this guy came with. Let's see what our trap jaw came with. We got a little package. Let's take a look at his comic real quick. All right, cool, man. Yeah. So yeah, we got the claw looking nice. Got the little clip that hooks on his belt. We got the blaster part. It's looking real sweet. It's nice. And a hook, which I'm pretty sure this came with the vintage one. This may be the only accessory that I don't have. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Just leave a comment if I'm wrong on any of this, or leave a comment about anything like, man, you bozo, you didn't know those were leave a comment, guys, because like I do love MOTU, and like I said, I just found this out like just a couple days ago. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I was going to review these guys, and I was actually watching a review, and that's when I learned that they were so articulate. I was like, no way. So yeah, this stuff goes on his belt. We can get it in there. Probably trying to jam it in the wrong spot. All right. Put the blaster on him. That's super cool. He can spin it now. I mean, like, I'm just so blown away because, like, this is stuff that I wanted when I was a kid. And yes, oh man, he can bend his arm. Oh, that's so awesome. So I always wanted that, to happen when I was a kid. You got to be careful with this plastic. It seems a little bit on the gentle side. But man, does he look wicked. Trapjaw, one of my favorite bad guys, from the MOTU series, man. He's just an amazing guy. I loved him, and it was a character that I grew up with. I was into He-Man before G.I. Joe, so if that tells you anything. Every Saturday morning, definitely in front of the TV with my blanket and cereal bowl and all my He-Mans lined up, ready to watch the cartoon. So just love that cartoon. This is a quick look at the comic. It's got He-Man and Orko, and I think it's got the evil Orko on there. And again, it's just a quick glimpse of what it comes with full color. Looks really good inside. Just give you an idea of what's in there, and you pick one up, you'll be able to check them out. And again, it has, the characters on the back. I love that. I love when toy lines do that. Because you would just stare at those and be like, oh man, next time I go to the store with mom or whatever, I'm picking up, many faces. And you would just be set on it, and a week or 2 weeks might go by, even longer sometimes. And then finally, that trip to the store and that magic moment where mom said, okay, you can get one. That was awesome to a kid, and that made his day. And we were set for the rest of the day and week or whatever. It was a great moment. All right, next up is the Spikor. Spikor, and he has like the snake man background. Because he's in that series. I don't think he's a snake man. He's not part of that group. But yeah, man, this is what he looks like in the vintage. And I think I paid regular price for this guy. So he just came out not too long ago, I believe. I just picked him up from, I think I found him in Walmart. Spikor. Let's get into him, and then I'm going to talk about the things that I liked about this character when I was a kid. Pop them open. Take out the comic. All right. Spikor. And yeah, let me just gonna try to cut these plastic ties real quick. All right, guys. So this was a really cool character growing up also. I loved him just for the way he looked. And again, look at the articulation that you get. I'm not saying this is great articulation, but compared to a vintage He-Man, holy smokes, this is awesome. And you can see, just the articulation of the head. So I was like, oh man, if I open these guys up, I can display them and get some nice photos with them, and way better than I could have ever dreamed of when I was a kid setting up. So I'm gonna have fun doing that. Again, in the feet, you can see pretty articulated. I did not know that. I know that sounds dumb. And everyone who's been collecting this line is be like, this guy is insane and doesn't get out much. But it's the truth. I'm here to tell you how it is, guys. And I'm a big time. I've had these guys for years. So yeah, he comes with this pitchfork, type style. And I believe, yeah, Spikor was a blacksmith for Skeletor. So he made weapons and cool shit like that. So he was a badass, and a handy guy like myself. So that's why I liked him. He looks cool. Sorry, we got some fireworks going off outside. It's not a gun, definitely fireworks. I live in a HOA. It's definitely not a gun. But yeah, he looks wicked. And so I liked him when I was a kid because I was big into texture and stuff, and he has these rubbery spikes, and I swear I would just, I would just love the feel of that, and I would run my fingers through it, and that's why I love Spikor so much. Not only was he cool looking, and I love the color purple. I loved it when I was a kid, and I love it to this day. It's one of my favorite colors. So that was a big thing for me too when I was a kid. And oh man, he's just wicked looking. This is like a spiked armor that he wore, and he had it on his head too. And just as a kid, that was something that was like really cool to me. I just loved it. I loved it. Also, I have a son who's autistic. He was diagnosed at a young age, and he loved little toys like this that had texture and stuff like that. So maybe if you do have a child who has autism or know of one, remember that when they get to not when they're babies, of course, or not when they're too young, but when they get older, like they love stuff like this texture and just the color of things, bright colors. So He-Man would be a good line for maybe a child of that sort. I know I know every different spectrum of the autism is very different, so that's a big wide range we're talking about. But I just wanted to point it out. My son loved stuff like that growing up. Anything with a texture or a funny, out of the ordinary feel like that, he just loved it. So. But yeah, man, Spikor. Okay, let's see what he comes with, because and they're so easy to stand. I'll show you. Here's one of my. This is the vintage, version of, and he's not. This trap jaw is not gonna stand, and it's because they have no, obviously no hinge or anything in their leg, and these bands inside just go out. I'm gonna do a video. Probably in a few weeks, we'll do a video where we're actually gonna fix some of these bands. We'll probably start with this guy because it's so bad, it's so wobbly. And it just wants to stay in one shape where when you got the band in there and there's tension, you can kind of turn the leg where you need it and stand them up a little better. So we'll go through that. I'll do a tutorial video of how to fix that. And that's another cool thing about the Masters of the Universe. I know we've been doing a lot of G.I. Joe. We've just been swarmed with G.I. Joe this year. So, now that it's kind of calmed down and the new year's here, we're going to go ahead and go dip into some new lines. Because we all love toys, we all love new toy lines. And this is the small pitchfork type deal. I know there's a better name for that. Just can't think of it offhand. And it just unplugs. I think back in the day on the vintage one, it would go in and out of his arm. But he didn't have a articulated elbow, so it was very possible to make that happen. I believe. Don't quote me on it. Again, leave a comment if I'm wrong. But as far as I can remember, so that's the short version, and then the one he was wearing is the extended version of it. Nice. And then he came with this. It's like a giant orange mace, which is pretty cool. Everything is super straight. The plastic on the weapons is very decent. I don't know if we'll have problems, and again, I know I'm late into reviewing. A lot of you people probably seen the reviews on these. If you're into MOTU, maybe this is new for you, but every now and then, let's do a little MOTU, huh? Well, like I said, I have about 20 of them so far. There's about 20 that I can open, so as we go down the line, we can venture into the more popular characters and whatnot. And I can't wait for you guys to see the diorama grow over time. This is just the review table that we're going to be reviewing on this year, so I can set different diorama aspects up and have a lot more room to work with and do things on. So if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button and subscribe and follow me for more future reviews. Thanks, guys.